Ash and Pikachu have traveled to the Paldea region to discover what it truly means to be a Pokemon Master. After meeting Professor Sada, battling Titan Sandy Shocks, and defeating Gym Leader Kofu, we now explore what if Ash's Primeape returned in the season finale of my Scarlet and Violet anime series.
Won't give up until we find something to treasure.
Episode 58. With the Academy Dorm tournament just around the corner, Nemona and Dendra organize a special trip for the Battle Club to get everyone fired up. They'll be spectating Paldea's P1 Grand Prix, held in Zapapico. The students are excited, but no one more than Ash. On the way, Ash shares his memories of competing in a P1 Grand Prix years ago, and how he left his Primeape with a man named Anthony, who promised to train it into a true champion. When they arrive, Ash is surprised. Anthony is competing, and right beside him is Primeape, looking stronger than ever. Anthony is now the undefeated P1 champion, and announces that this will be his final tournament before retiring. The students watch in awe as intense battles unfold, showcasing powerful fighting type Pokemon. In the finals, Anthony and Primeape dominate and take the championship once again. Primeape hears Ash cheering from the crowd, and is thrilled to see him. After the event, Ash reunites with both Anthony and Primeape. They share an emotional hug after so many years apart. Anthony is happy to see Ash again, and reveals he's retiring to focus on his family, but says that Primeape still has a lot of fight left in him. He kept his promise. Primeape is now a top tier P1 champion, and he believes now's the perfect time for Primeape to return to Ash. Touched, Ash thanks Anthony for everything, and officially welcomes Primeape back to his team. Wanting to test Primeape's strength for himself, Ash wants to battle. Nemona eagerly steps up, but Dendra cuts in, equally fired up. She proposes a friendly exhibition battle to inspire the students, reminding them that they'll get to face the teachers if they win the dorm tournament. Ash agrees. It's a one-on-one match, Primeape versus Minxiao. Dendra starts with Bounce, going for a surprise aerial attack. Ash stays calm and commands Thunder Punch. Primeape launches upward, intercepting Minxiao midair with a perfectly timed blow. Minxiao follows by using Drain Punch, but Primeape sidesteps and strikes with a clean cross chop, sending Minxiao back. Dendra is really impressed, but fires back with Rock Tomb, trying to slow Primeape down, but Ash commands Thrash. Primeape barrels through the rocks and slams into Minxiao with wild strength. Staggering, Minxiao goes for high jump kick, and though it's confused, Ash has Primeape catch him midair and counters with a devastating seismic toss. Minxiao is down. Ash and Primeape win. The students erupt in applause. Anthony praises Ash and Primeape's synergy, saying their high-level experience matches perfectly. Ash smiles, telling Primeape how proud he is and that he's excited for the battles that they'll be facing together. It's time for free Pokemon cards. Big shout out to Whatnot for sponsoring this video. They gave me $500 to spend on their app, and everything that I've won, I'm giving away to you guys. If you don't know, Whatnot is a live shopping app where you can buy and auction all kinds of cool stuff. Pokemon cards, comic books, manga, collectibles, you name it. It's fast, it's interactive, and honestly a lot of fun. I had a blast building these stack of cards right here, and now it's your turn to win them. Just drop your Whatnot username in the comments, and I'll pick one lucky winner next week. Seriously, now is the perfect time to jump on Whatnot. Use my link down below or the QR code on screen to get $15 off your first purchase anywhere on the app. Whether you're a collector or just curious, this is one of the easiest and most fun ways to score great deals. Episode 59. Ash happily introduces Primeape to the rest of his team. Pikachu is thrilled, but the others are cautious, intimidated by Primeape's intense expression. To break the tension, Primeape snatches Ash's cap and strikes a goofy pose. The team bursts out laughing, and Ash begins their training for the Academy Dorm tournament. Meanwhile, we focus on Team Rocket, who have been busy on their newly completed training facility. Using their reverse-engineered super training device, they've whipped Giovanni's new grunts into shape. Their veteran Pokemon are also stronger than ever, but their Paldean Pokemon, not so much. Jessie's Tinkatink is still especially emotional, always bursting into tears. Jessie comforts her with dramatic flair, saying Tinkatink will toughen up if it's the last thing she does. Now that the grunts are ready, Jessie and James decide it's time to strengthen their forces with powerful Terastallized Pokemon. They lead the grunts into a series of Tera raid battles across Paldea, defeating and capturing Tera Pokemon one after another. Everything is going smoothly until Clavel calls. He congratulates Jesselyn and Jamie on their hard work on the Star Training Centers, but notes they've yet to submit an entry to the Academy Dorm tournament. He insists they participate to show students the benefits of the training centers. Jessie and James panic, Realizing they've been so focused on Team Rocket, they completely forgot about their student cover. If they don't show results, their cover could be blown. With no time to waste, they should focus on their less experienced Pokemon. James trains with Capsicum and Gimmighoul, while Jessie tries to boost Tinkating's confidence. To inspire them, Team Rocket takes on their toughest challenge yet, a 5-star Terastallization Hydreigon. It's an intense battle, even for the grunts. Gimmighoul's attacks barely scratch it, and Tinkating freezes in fear. But when Hydreigon lunges at Jessie, Tinkating throws herself in the way, resisting Dragon Claw with her fairy typing. With the new confidence she gained to protect her trainer, she lands a brutal swing, and evolves into Tinkatuff. Gimmighoul, moved by her bravery, learns to use Shadow Ball. Jessie and James then Terastallize their Pokemon to land a finishing blow. The grunts cheer as Hydreigon is caught. At the new Team Rocket storage base in Tag Tree Thicket, Jessie and James celebrate with the squad. They get ready to return to Mesagoza to prepare for the tournament, leaving the grunts in charge of super training the new Pokemon while they're away. But as the grunts begin locking up their captures, Hydreigon uses a parting Fire Blast on the trio as a last act of revenge, sending them blasting off. Episode 60. Nemona's Battle Club has been a great help in Giacomo's return to Academy life. With the dorm tournament approaching, he hopes his fellow star bosses, Mela and Atticus, might join too. But there's a problem. They've missed too many classes and must pass the upcoming term exams to be eligible to compete. Determined to help, Giacomo turns to Penny, the Academy's top math student. Though shy and hesitant, Penny agrees after Ash offers to support her. With Gary's permission, they organize a study group in one of the classrooms, with Penny nervously leading and Ash offering encouragement when needed. However, Mela grows frustrated with the lessons and storms off. Giacomo sighs, but Penny urges Ash to go after her while she continues with Atticus. She admits that despite Operation Starfall's goal to disband Team Star, she genuinely wants to help them find their place in the Academy. Ash, recalling Penny's own past with bullying, understands and heads off to find Mela. At the courtyard, Ash finds her admiring a small garden. Mela confesses that she's unsure if she belongs at the Academy, and her struggles with math only make her feel worse. Ash gently reminds her that her friends, including himself and Charlos, don't want her to be left behind. If she passes, Ash even offers to let her borrow Charlos for the tournament. Mela is surprised, touched by Ash's offer. Ash adds that Charlos would be happy to battle alongside her for old time's sake. Inspired by Ash and Charlos' support, she agrees to give studying another shot. Meanwhile, Penny finds an unexpected connection with Atticus. She cleverly shows him how math is essential for cosplay designing, calculating patterns, and budgeting materials. Watching Atticus engage with genuine interest lifts Penny's spirits and boosts her confidence. When Mela returns, Penny patiently tutors her, using simple tips without judgment. Slowly, Mela and Atticus warm up to her, cracking jokes and asking questions. Penny realizes that they're not just her study partners, they're becoming real friends. Her shyness around them begins to melt. As the study session continues into the night, Ligo calls Amethio, having noticed his long absence recently. She tries to catch up with him, reminds him of the exams, and asks if he's joining the tournament. Amethio declines and hangs up on Liko. After being removed from the Explorer's mission, he sees no reason to return to the Academy anymore. But during his training, he reconsiders. If he joins the tournament, he might face Ash. Seeing it as a chance to grow stronger and get revenge, he calls Liko back and confirms his participation. The next day, after the exams, the results are revealed. Everyone passed. Mela and Atticus are now eligible for the tournament, and Giacomo is proud of them. As Penny receives their thanks, she smiles, quietly proud that her new friends are starting to feel like they belong. Episode 61. It's time for the Academy Dorm Tournament. Clavel delivers a rousing speech, commending students on their growth in the first term, before officially kicking off the Scarlet vs. Violet showdown. A preliminary round is held, where students battle one-on-one to determine who will advance. The top 6 students from each dorm, based on win records, move on to the main bracket. The matches are intense, with everyone giving it their all. Mela surprises everyone with her skill, battling fiercely using Ash's Charlos. Dot also stands out, now more confident and polished in her strategies. When asked about her improvement, she credits Nemona's Battle Club, as well as watching and analyzing battle videos to prepare. The biggest shock comes from Atticus' battle against Amethio, where Amethio reveals his newly evolved Hisuian Samurott and defeats Atticus with ease. The group is stunned by his power and more intrigued with this unique form. Even Clavel is surprised, realizing the partner Pokemon from the Academy's sister school might have been rarer than initially thought. Nemona is the most excited of the group. She confesses she's always wanted to battle Amethio, but he would always refuse. This tournament could finally give her chance. The advancing students are revealed. The top Scarlet students are Ash and Nemona, who are undefeated, followed by Penny, Mela, Jesselyn, and Arvin. For the Violet Dorm, it's Amethio, who was also undefeated, Giacomo, Dot, Liko, Roy, and Jamie. Atticus was just one win shy of making the cut, but his loss against Amethio took him out. He takes the loss well though, saying he had a lot of fun and will cheer for his friends. With the bracket set, Dendra explains the rules. The tournament is a team battle consisting of single elimination, one-on-one battles. Each dorm selects a captain to decide the matchups, and only one Terastallization is allowed per dorm for the entire tournament. The team that successfully eliminates all students from the opposing dorm is the winner. Scarlet Dorm easily elects Nemona. Though Ash tied her record, he insists she lead, saying the student council president is the perfect captain. Touched, Nemona happily accepts. Meanwhile, Violet Dorm struggles to decide, as Amethio declines Liko's offer for leadership, keeping to himself. Giacomo, with the second best preliminary record, is elected captain instead. To everyone's surprise, both captains decide to kick things off themselves. It's Nemona versus Giacomo, a battle between student council presidents. Nemona uses Palma, while Giacomo uses his evolved King Gambit. Nemona's impressed, reminded of La Primera's King Gambit. Giacomo starts with Katao Cleave, hitting hard. Palma counters with Dig, scoring a clean super effective strike. King Gambit retaliates with Iron Head, knocking Palma down but exciting Nemona. She shares her dream of being as great as Champion Gita, and how this battle will bring her one step closer. She commands Discharge, while Giacomo counters with Stone Edge. Both land, and King Gambit is paralyzed. Seizing the moment, Palma charges Focus Punch while tanking a Dark Pulse, and then lands the final blow. Scarlet Dorm takes round 1. Both captains praise each other's skills before switching out. Nemona chooses Arvin to battle, while Giacomo picks Liko. Both are excited to face each other. Round 2 is Floragato versus Quaxwell. Quaxwell opens with Aqua Cutter, landing a hit, but Floragato fires back with Energy Ball. Quaxwell gracefully dodges, however, and counters with Wing Attack. Arvin claims that his Titan battles have made him stronger, even against type disadvantages. Liko briefly glances at Amethio, then sinks with Floragato. Quick Attack is used to chip away at Quaxwell. Floragato then uses Magical Leaf, and Quaxwell dodges, but Liko tells Floragato to redirect the attack, landing a critical hit. With Quaxwell weakened, Liko finishes it off with Energy Ball. Violet Dorm takes round 2. Arvin is impressed, and Liko thanks him. As the teams prepare for round 3, the score is tied 1-1. The energy in the courtyard is electric as the dorm tournament continues. Episode 62. The Academy Dorm tournament continues as Violet Dorm keeps Liko on the field. Nemona chooses Mela to follow up with Scarlet Dorm, who enters with confidence, ready to make Ash proud using Charlos. Seeing the disadvantage, Liko switches from Floragato to Wooper, as Pokemon switching is allowed between rounds. The battle begins with Wooper launching Mud Shot to slow Charlos. Charlos retaliates with Clear Smog, landing a solid hit and removing the effects. Wooper answers with Water Pulse, briefly confusing Charlos, only for Mela's encouragement to snap him out of it. Ash smiles, noting how strong their bond is thanks to their long friendship. Mela commands Fire Spin to trap Wooper. Liko uses Poison Tail, but the flames wear Wooper down. Charlos follows up with Nightshade for steady damage. Frustrated, Liko questions how she's losing despite the type advantage. But Wooper, refusing to give up, unleashes a new move, Sludge Wave. The powerful strike nearly takes down Charlos, but he endures it and ends the battle with Flamethrower. Scarlet Dorm takes round 3. Liko compliments Mela's battle skills. Mela, who's flustered, gives credit to Ash for raising Charlos so strongly. Ash is impressed, saying their teamwork was awesome. For round 4, Mela stays in for Scarlet Dorm, while Violet Dorm chooses Roy, who sends out Crocolore. It's a fire-type showdown. Charlos opens with Fire Spin, trapping Crocolore, but Roy sings with Crocolore to boost their sync, and counters with Disarming Voice. Charlos follows with Nightshade, but Crocolore tanks it and uses a Flinching Bite, allowing for another Disarming Voice once again. Mela orders Flamethrower, but Roy chants again using Crocolore's matching Flamethrower to overpower it in a fiery clash. As a last resort, Mela calls for Charlos' blue power-up flame that he used with Ash, but it fails. Crocolore lands a finishing strike, and Violet Dorm ties the score 2-2. Mela returns Charlos to Ash, thankful for the chance to battle with him again, but realizes she couldn't bring out Charlos' full potential the way Ash can. Ash encourages her though, saying her bond with Charlos is just as meaningful. As the Scarlet Dorm plans their next matchups, Nemona subtly steers things to set up a potential battle with Amethio, quietly aiming for a challenge that might push her to the limit. For round 5, Violet Dorm keeps Roy in, while Nemona, ready to blow this tournament wide open, picks Ash for the Scarlet Dorm. Roy braces himself, as Ash uses low kicks despite the type disadvantage. Crocodile opens strong with Flamethrower, pushing low kicks back. Ash activates low kick showdown mode for a boosted double kick, then quickly reverts back to normal to conserve stamina. Roy counters with Disarming Voice, but low kick strikes with showdown mode again, using Throat Chop to disable sound-based attacks. Crocodile uses Bite, but Bug Buzz disorients it, followed by another burst of showdown mode double kick. Roy tries chanting to get in sync again, but Crocodile can't even sing due to Throat Chop. Nemona's impressed with Ash's strategy. He's in complete control of the battle. Crocodile, pushed to its limits, activates Blaze and lands a powerful flamethrower. But Ash times one last burst. A showdown mode lunge is used, knocking Crocodile out. Ash and low kicks have gotten closer to mastering showdown mode, and the tournament heats up with the Scarlet Dorm now leading 3-2. Episode 63. As the Academy Dorm tournament continues, Amethyl steps forward, prepared to finally face Ash, but Nemona surprises everyone by calling Ash back, saying he's already done his part by giving them the lead. Because of this, Amethyl steps back. For round 6, it's Jessalyn versus Jamie. The two stare each other down, eager to prove who's the strongest. Meowth and Wobbuffet fly in just in time to cheer them on. The battle begins with Tinkertuff versus Gimmighoul. Gimmighoul opens with Shadow Ball. Tinkertuff counters with Metal Claw, landing a hit and boosting its attack. Gimmighoul then uses Protect, blocking Fairy Wind. Jessalyn stays calm, waiting for another opening. When Gimmighoul uses Astonish, Tinkertuff hangs on and follows with Metal Claw. Jamie tries one final Shadow Ball, but Tinkertuff charges through and finishes the fight with Brutal Swing. Scarlet Dorm now leads 4-2. Meowth proudly points out how much Tinkertuff has grown. For round 7, Scarlet Dorm keeps Jessalyn in, while Violet Dorm sends in Dot, who uses Cyndaquil. Tinkertuff opens with Fairy Wind, but Cyndaquil spins in with Flame Wheel, causing burn damage. Despite the damage, Tinkertuff answers with Brutal Swing, knocking Cyndaquil back. Dot calmly uses Extrasensory to disorient Tinkertuff, then Swift to chip away. Tinkertuff manages to flinch Cyndaquil with Astonish though, and hits back with another Brutal Swing. Violet Dorm begins to worry, but Dot observes carefully, and tells Cyndaquil to use Extrasensory again, targeting Tinkertuff's hammer. The plan works. Tinkertuff is caught off guard, and Cyndaquil ends the battle with a final Flame Wheel. Violet Dorm takes the win, making it 4-3. Jessalyn is frustrated, but proud of Tinkertuff. Legal and Roy cheer for Dot, impressed by her growth. Blushing, Dot credits her friends, then refocuses, aware that the toughest battles are still ahead. Nemona picks Penny to battle for Scarlet, while Dot stays in for Violet. It's Cyndaquil versus Shiny Eevee, surprising many students. Penny declares that she's done hiding her true self, and Dot, ready to prove herself, accepts the challenge. Cyndaquil opens with Flame Wheel, but Eevee softens the blow with Baby Doll Eyes. Dot tries to keep her at a distance with Swift, but Eevee charges in with Quick Attack. Cyndaquil uses Extrasensory, only for Eevee to use Copycat and send it right back. Surprised at first, Dot smiles, and shifts to chip damage with Ember, while Penny keeps Cyndaquil's attack low with Baby Doll Eyes. Dot adjusts, using Swift to bait Copycat, and it works, but the move is less effective. Dot smiles, having read Penny's rhythm and knowing that Eevee's special attack is weaker than Cyndaquil's. She then gambles on Flame Wheel, powering through its weakened stats. Penny counters with Hyper Voice, Eevee's strongest move, overpowering Cyndaquil. Penny praises Dot's strategy, but warns that Eevee's Hyper Voice hits harder than any of Cyndaquil's moves. Caught off guard, Dot starts to worry, but she refuses to give up. She wants to prove that she's no longer the timid girl that she once was, and dreams of being as strong as Iono. Moved by her resolve, Cyndaquil evolves into Quilava, shocking everyone. Now empowered, Quilava uses Flame Wheel. Eevee counters with another Hyper Voice. The moves collide, and both are blown back. When the dust settles, Quilava faints. Penny wins. Scarlet Dorm now leads 5-3. Penny praises Dot, saying her strategic pressure almost won. Dot smiles, proud of how far she's come. With only one Violet Dorm student left, the team now turns to their final hope, Amethyl. Episode 64. Amethyl steps up as the Violet Dorm's final competitor. If they're gonna win, he'll have to defeat Penny, Ash, and Nemona. Calm and composed, Amethyl keeps his eyes on one goal, defeating Ash. Penny stays in for the Scarlet Dorm. The battle begins with Jolteon versus Hisui and Samurott. The type advantage makes Violet Dorm nervous, but Liko remains confident in Amethyl's abilities. Jolteon opens with Magnet Rise to levitate, avoiding Samurot's Razor Shell, and then lands Thunder. Samurott tanks the hit and strikes back with Aerial Ace mid-air. Penny counters with Baby Doll Eyes to weaken its attack. Unfazed, Amethio commands Ceaseless Edge, scattering spikes across the field. Jolteon fires Pin Missile, doing super effective damage, revealing it to be a Water and Dark type. Samurott retaliates with another Razor Shell, knocking Jolteon into the spikes. Penny gambles on Thunder again, but it misses. Amethio seizes the moment and has Samurott finish with Hydro Cannon, knocking Jolteon out. The score narrows 5-4. Violet Dorm cheers, while Penny is shocked. She strategized carefully, but Amethio still overwhelmed her. Nemona, fired up, steps in next. She's excited to finally face Amethio and is ready to give it her all. The match begins with Dartrix versus Samurott. Dartrix uses Razor Leaf, but Samurott slashes through them with Ceaseless Edge, covering the field with spikes again. Dartrix dives in with Brave Bird, landing a big hit but taking recoil. Samurott counters with Aerial Ace. Dartrix sneaks in with Shadow Sneak, catching Samurott off guard. Samurott strikes back, however, with Razor Shell, sending Dartrix into the spikes and lowering its defense. Nemona presses forward with Leaf Blade, while Amethio thinks about using Hydro Cannon, but decides to wait for the right moment, and commands Ceaseless Edge instead. The attacks are intense, with every clash fueling Nemona's excitement. This is the kind of battle that she lives for. She wonders if Amethio might actually be a worthy rival just like Ash. Samurott's sword is then knocked out of its hand, catching it off guard. Similar to Dot's battle, the winning strike is clear and Nemona sees it. Yet she hesitates. If she attacks now, it's all over. Was this really all Amethio had? She doesn't want the battle to end. Not yet. For that brief moment, her desire to savor the fight overshadows her instinct to win. This is enough for Amethio and Samurott to recover. They then use Hydro Cannon, landing a direct hit. Dartrix is defeated. Violet Dorm ties the score 5-5. The students are stunned. Nemona, the Academy's strongest student, has fallen. Some begin to see her differently. Not unbeatable, but human. She congratulates Amethio and admits she still has more to learn. Nemona returns to her team and apologizes for the loss. They cheer her on though, saying she was awesome. She thanks them, but deep down, something seems to be bothering her, and Ash is the only one to notice. The Scarlet Dorm now turns to their last hope, Ash. He steps forward to face Amethio, but before the battle begins, he silently wonders to himself, did Nemona hold back on purpose? Episode 65. The courtyard buzzes with excitement as the Academy Dorm tournament reaches its climax. Liko eagerly watches as her two admired trainers face off. Ash versus Amethio. Ash is excited and sends out Primeape, while Amethio stays with Hisui and Samurott, fueled by the weight of his past failures. Ash opens with Cross Chop, aiming for the advantage. Amethio quickly Terastallizes Samurott into a pure water type, however, removing his fighting type weakness. Samurott then lands a boosted Razor Shell on Primeape. He takes the hit and then counters with Thunder Punch, catching Amethio off guard. He knows not to underestimate Ash and refocuses, using Ceaseless Edge to scatter spikes across the field. Primeape powers through with Thrash, battering Samurott with unpredictable blows, but soon gets confused. Samurott capitalizes with Aerial Ace, and Primeape stumbles, hurting itself in confusion. Ash tries calling out to snap him out of it, but it doesn't work. With only a short time together before their years apart, Ash realizes their bond isn't strong enough yet. Thinking fast though, Ash orders Primeape to use Thunder Punch on himself, snapping him out of confusion. Ash then Terastallizes Primeape into a fighting type. Surprised, Amethio adjusts and has Samurott use Hydro Cannon, clashing with Primeape's Cross Chop in an explosive exchange. Both Pokemon are worn down, Primeape from the constant damage and Samurott from earlier battles. Ash admits he's having fun, but Amethio stays silent, reflecting on his past failures. Seeing Ash as his greatest obstacle, he questions how he'll ever face the Black Rayquaza or prove himself to Gibeon if he can't beat him here. Fueled by Amethio's feelings, Samurott activates its Torrent ability and lands a boosted Razor Shell. Liko shows concern, seeing Amethio is more intense than usual. Ash counters with a boosted Cross Chop, but Samurott toughs it out, refusing to let Amethio down. Samurott then uses Ceaseless Edge, landing a critical hit. This only enrages Primeape, activating its Anger Point ability, maxing out its power. Ash sees his chance. Samurott fires a final Hydro Cannon, but Primeape dodges, and then Ash orders a finishing Seismic Toss. Primeape grabs Samurott and slams it into the ground with all of its might. Samurott is defeated. the Scarlet Dorm wins the tournament. Ash rushes to Primeape, proud of their growth. He then smiles and thanks Amethyl for the battle, but he doesn't respond. Amethyl turns away in silence, his confidence shattered. Violet Dorm humbly accepts defeat, but congratulates their friends. Clavel also congratulates the Scarlet Dorm, granting them entry to next term's Academy Ace tournament. Later, Ash and friends plan for the upcoming school break. Nemona explains that most students either go home or travel, but invites them all to her place for training to keep the tournament momentum going. Everyone agrees. Jesselyn and Jamie decline, however, needing to focus on the STAR training centers. Nemona understands, and is excited to see their progress once finished, unaware that they've been secretly running Team Rocket bases. Lego calls Amethyl, hoping to invite him too, but he doesn't answer. Humiliated by defeat and determined to grow stronger, Amethyl seeks out Hamber and requests special training. The season ends with Amethyl vowing to never return to the academy or waste his time again.